What if I told you that Qin Shi Huang, who unified the 6 kingdoms, did not die on the battlefield, but died silently from an invisible poison? Would you believe me? Qin Shi Huang, a name that resonates through Chinese history, is known as the first emperor of China. He was the hero who unified China, ended the Warring States era, and established the first centralized feudal dynasty. His name represents not only power and might, but also his endless desire for power and his quest for immortality. From a young age, Qin Shi Huang showed extraordinary ambition. He not only wanted to unify the 6 kingdoms, but also sought to transcend life and death. He believed that heaven destined him to rule the country forever. Deep in his heart, he harbored a strong fear of death and refused to accept the fact that he would perish like ordinary people. This longing drove him to search for a way to live forever. He began to recruit alchemists and sorcerers extensively, hoping they could find the elixir of immortality. These alchemists, eager to please Qin Shi Huang, fabricated various legends about immortality. They told Qin Shi Huang that there were 3 sacred mountains in the distant East China Sea where the elixir of immortality could be found. Qin Shi Huang believed them and sent a huge fleet of ships to search for these sacred mountains. He even ordered alchemists across the country to make the so-called elixir of immortality and took it day and night. The elixir of immortality provided by the alchemists was actually a highly toxic substance containing mercury. Convinced, Qin Shi Huang took these elixirs every day, expecting to become an immortal monarch. However, instead of making him immortal, these elixirs slowly eroded his body. His health deteriorated rapidly, and he became weak and sickly. Into 10 BC, Emperor Qin Shi Huang suddenly collapsed during an eastern tour. The cause of his death was not the swords of his enemies, but the elixir of immortality, which he thought would make him live forever. His body could no longer tolerate the poison, and he eventually ended his life in solitude. Qin Shi Huang's death was not immediately announced. His entourage, fearing political unrest, chose to conceal the truth and continued to issue orders in the emperor's name. On the way back to Xianyang, they even used salted fish to cover up the odor of the rotting body, hoping to maintain the illusion that the emperor was still alive. Despite all their efforts, they were unable to stop the rapid decline of the Qin Dynasty. The mausoleum of Qin Shi Huang was designed to be his long resting place and his final resting place. This magnificent mausoleum, which consumed countless manpower and resources, symbolizes his relentless pursuit of immortality. It is said that the interior of the mausoleum mimics the mountains and rivers of the world, while the underground rivers of mercury represent the path to immortality that he aspired to. Although Qin Shi Huang did not escape death, his tomb is still well preserved and has become a place of yearning and veneration. It has become a place of yearning and veneration. Qin Shi Huang's life was full of legends, but also full of tragedies. He unified the 6 kingdoms and established the great Qin Dynasty, but he could not overcome the forces of time and nature. His obsession eventually led to his death, and despite his unrivaled power, he was unable to change the course of his life. His story serves as a reminder that even the most powerful cannot escape death. His story has been passed down through the ages not only because he was the first emperor of China, but also because of his relentless pursuit of immortality and his ultimate failure. The tragedy of this great emperor tells us that life is short and death is inevitable. Qin Shi Huang used his life to tell future generations the value of life and the inevitability of death. His story is like a mirror reflecting mankind's desire for life and fear of death. In modern society, we are constantly striving for a longer life and a higher quality of life. This pursuit of life has never changed since ancient times. The story of Qin Shi Huang is like a solemn requiem, reminding us that no matter how hard we try, the end of life is a fate that everyone cannot avoid. His obsession became the shackles of his life, eventually dragging him into endless darkness. The great emperor's dream of immortality turned into an irrevocable tragedy. His story has been passed down through the ages and has become a mirror for future generations to reflect on. No matter how much power and wealth we possess, life will eventually come to an end. Qin Shi Huang's life ended in such a way, but his story will never end. His legend will forever live on with time, warning generations to cherish the present and to accept the limitations of life as the only thing we can truly control.